are almost here. Choose between the 5K, 10K, or fun run in beautiful North Asheville. After your race, the best post-race food in Asheville racing awaits you, along with prizes for the best St. Patrick's Day related costumes. Proceeds benefit the O'Brien and William Edwards Gibbs Memorial Scholarship Fund. This event usually sells out, so register today at gloryhoundevents.com. gloryhoundevents.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Doug Brown. Baseball owners and players will try to establish an international amateur draft. That could set up further talks about the ongoing economic issues, with baseball's lockout now in its 99th day. 2 weeks of the regular season have already been canceled. At the ACC Tournament quarterfinals today, Duke got all it could handle from the Syracuse Orange.
Banchero flashing out to the free throw line. Heels trying to get it to him, but gives it back to Moore, who penetrates, kicks. Roach, wide open three. It's good! Jeremy Roach drills it. Duke up by 6.
Jay Alter on ESPN Radio. Jeremy Roach with 19. Wendell Moore with 26. Duke scores the last 10 points of the game to beat Syracuse 88-79. Right now on ESPN2 and ESPN Radio, midway through the first half, Miami leads Boston College 25-21. Other finals today, Big 12 quarterfinals. TCU comes from 20 points down to knock off Texas 65-60 in Kansas City.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, and we are ready and raring to go for all of the things going on in the sports world, including the big basketball tournaments. The major conference tournaments are underway. We got caught up with Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, earlier today. We'll play that interview back for you at 4 o'clock for Tar Heel time as he gets us set for the ACC quarterfinal matchup tonight between North Carolina and Virginia. You'll hear that right here on ESPN. Asheville pregame starts at 8:30. 9:30 is the scheduled tip-off up in Brooklyn. As you heard in the Sports Center update, Duke had their hands full with Syracuse, despite the fact that Buddy Boeheim was suspended for the game.
And he should have been.
Of course he should have been.
Jay Billis does not agree with that.
Jay Billis is
wrong.
It's
fine.
I love
Jay
him.
Billis. He's one of my favorite analysts in any sport. He's wrong.
Yeah, no, on this one, sir, you are off the mark. You can't just do that. If you didn't see it yesterday during the game with Florida State, he was on what? He was on defense and just turned around and punched one of your players right in the stomach.
Wyatt Wilkes. And of all the players you could punch, it's the most nondescript player in Florida State history.
I don't know, just from the looks of him, he looks like he came from your neck of the woods.
Yeah, he and I do look as though we could be kin.
I was gonna say him and
they say
kind of Matthew Mayer looking.
Yeah,
from Baylor.
He's a great shooter. Doesn't really do much of anything else.
Right. Well, Buddy Boeheim gets suspended for a game, and it just wasn't enough for the Syracuse Orange to pull it off against Duke earlier today in Brooklyn, 88-79. It was a tight game. It was like a 4-point game with a minute to go, felt like.
Yeah, and I don't really see Duke being challenged again. Miami does not match up with them. I don't see any way Miami's going to lose to Boston College. I know it's close right now, but and you might very well be on a collision course for Duke Carolina 3.
I think we are. I think that's exactly what we're on a collision.
I know. I heard you
for.
and Sports Freak Brian Hall talking earlier that, with Notre Dame, that's going to be is it though?
Well, I mean, the Tar Heels have already lost to Notre Dame earlier in the season. Granted, they're playing a lot better coming down the stretch, and we'll have more with that with Jones Angell coming up at the 4 o'clock hour. But yeah, I mean, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to plan. You're trying to plan the weekend, the broadcast schedule.
Yeah, I'm really glad I'm not involved in it.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Because it would make my head hurt.
You don't want to put the game log in for Saturday if you're not sure that they're going to be playing on Saturday, because then you got to go and reset the log again. So that's inside baseball, but
I don't have to.
That's
do
tournament
any of those
time,
things.
man.
You know what I do? I sit in front of a camera, and I make cute things appear on the screen.
Yes, you do, and we are going to have even cuter things showing up on the YouTube stream.
If you've never checked out the YouTube stream, come Monday, it's going to look really, really good.
Yeah, we have
Big
fixed.
thanks to Jason Trump.
Yes.
We didn't fix anything.
No.
Jason Trump came in here, used all of his technological know-how, and now I have just all of the toys. Now I can do anything I want.
Right. So
our rabbit, the rabbit hole rabbit.
For the rabbit.
I did find a rabbit. We do now have a rabbit.
We've been talking about that
for
since,
2 years.
Yeah, since we started this thing. Well, since June.
Yeah.
Since June of last year.
It will be 2 years this June.
Yeah.
And we will finally have a rabbit. The rabbit hole rabbit will be in the Sportsocracy. I cannot wait.
If you don't know what we're talking about, it's a little animated bunny that jumps through a little rabbit hole that we can finally put on the screen because we tend to go down the rabbit holes so often. So, all that coming over the next few days. Jeremy's got all his toys he's going to play with. He's gonna do it upright.
Oh, I'm gonna go full nerd.
Yeah.
HWA looked at me this morning and went, "So I'll see you about Saturday night, right?" It's about how this works.
And you were like, "Yeah, pretty much."
Yeah.
So because of that, there will not be any happy hours the rest of the week while we get all of the bells and whistles connected, so you can see all that we have gone through and the upgrades that we were able to make because of the equipment. Here on Monday will be our next happy hour.
And all of this is built for the draft and free agency and all the things we will be able to do. We're going to do this upright.
Yeah. So it's gonna be so much fun.
Can't tell you it'll be the best information you've ever gotten, but it will look better than any other show you see.
Unfortunately, last night for the ACC Player of the Year and the ACC Coach of the Year, they went out of the tournament early as Wake Forest lost. So that's one of the teams in the ACC tournament that had a good odds to win it.
The
but
ACC may get 3 teams in the tournament, or they might get 7. It's just a question of how the bubble lands.
Just depending on...
According to Joe Lenardi right now, you've got Wake Forest that is clinging on for dear life, of which I never thought there would come a day where a 23-win ACC team would be clinging to the bubble.
Well, I mean,
but here we are.
Yeah, that's how weak the conference has been.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is what happens when you have one good team in the entire conference.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina's now obviously comfortably in... I would say they're going to be somewhere. If they were to get knocked out by Virginia, I think they're a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, Lenardi currently has us as an 8 seed, and I heard him talking on, I think it was with SVP last night on television about how that is going to be one of the most underrated seeds of the entire tournament. North Carolina, if they get that 8-9 game, and then one of the ones has to face them next, could be quite the challenge.
Not something you really want.
No.
If you're a Baylor, Kansas is really the one I look at and go, you could be had.
Are they the weakest of the 1 seeds, you think?
I think comfortably. I don't think they're a 1 seed, but that's just me.
Really?
No. They're
think Baylor's
consistent. Baylor is a 1. Gonzaga is a 1. Arizona is a 1. And the 4th one, I'll tell you on Saturday.
Okay.
Because there's just a slew of it, and they're all the same. I'm looking at Lenardi's projection right now. Arkansas and UCLA are 4s. If you told me right now they played Kansas and that spread was more than a bucket, I'm on the other side.
Yeah. Auburn's the other one. Auburn's the other 1 seed.
Yeah. Auburn has the best player in America, but then you get away from that. And
They got a pretty good supporting cast.
yeah, and they're fine.
Walker Kessler's like one of the best shot changers in all of college basketball.
And look, I like that team. You know, our mullet minute, that was one of the teams I was like, hey, you're catching plus, what was it, 2,000 on them?
To win the national championship.
I can get down with that. I think they're a little overrated. Then again, I think most of college basketball's overrated. I don't think there's a great team out there, which is what
Gonzaga's not it?
It's hard for me to get past you got run off the floor by St. Mary's. And look, that's a good team. They ain't that good. They're not that good that's the first shot you've really had in 2 months, and you got absolutely demolished.
Yeah, but then they turned it around.
Yeah, then they went and, let's foul with 4 seconds to go down 12. Jeremy had us plus 12 and a half. Just, okay, tap out.
Right.
There are people like me that we depend on these things.
They got that game back, so, I mean, I've seen all the articles of, this really feels like Gonzaga's year. Does it really?
Why did you go full Brian Kelly right there?
I have no idea. I have no idea why that happened. It just sometimes that Lester boy in me just kind of comes out. Yeah, don't know. Don't ask. Just move on. But is this Gonzaga's year? I can't say for certain. I thought last year was their year. And then they make it to the national championship game again and lose again. And I don't know that I'd see that playing out any differently this year.
Oh, we have our first one of these of the day, and it's a challenge. I love challenges.
A challenge, okay.
I'm your huckleberry.
This one's from our Canada and Armchair Commentary. Tomorrow's show, 10 questions. I'll donate $5 for Bowl for the Future for every correct answer you win. NFL trivia.
Heck yeah.
Where's my belt?
All right.
All the way in.
All right. David, I think we should definitely hook you up on the Zoom and make you do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way to do that.
Yeah, we'll hook you up on the Zoom if you can do that, and you come on and ask the questions, and sure, absolutely. We got the link in the description of this video, by the way, for the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Western North Carolina Bowl for the Future. Our good friends at Thermo Fisher Scientific have a team that's bowling in that, and our House of Reprehensibles member Justin Parton is on that team, and we said, yeah, sure, we'll help you out. So go and donate to the cause, help out Big Brothers Big Sisters of Western North Carolina. Again, the link is in the description of the video, thesportsocracy.com. Click on the live video link, and you can follow the link through and make your little donation. Every little bit counts to help out the mentor programs at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Western North Carolina.
See, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on me now. 10 NFL questions, and I feel like he's going to dig things out from like the leather helmet days.
Well, of course he is. No, he won't go back that far. There's enough trivia out there to sort of playing like playing Stump the Schwab. You remember that show on ESPN? That was fantastic.
Oh, that gives me an idea.
Huh.
Don't mind me.
Just you're thinking out loud.
Just gears working over here. It's fine.
Thinking out loud again. Yes, all of our super chats in the YouTube feed, by the way, today and tomorrow will be donated to the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Western North Carolina. So just another way that you can give. If you want to join the House of Reprehensibles, that's a nominal fee that they charge, and we'll donate that as well to the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Western North Carolina through the bowling team for the Bowl for the Future campaign with Thermo Fisher Scientific. Duke is obviously the overall favorite to win the ACC tournament.
And I would say they are a overwhelming favorite.
Yeah, I mean, you have to bet more to make less. Isn't that how that works? You got to bet $150 to make $100.
I think the last I saw, I think they were plus 550 to win the ACC tournament, which means you'd have to wager 550 to win 100.
Yesterday,
and it's basically free money.
Well, yesterday on betus.com, use the promo code Sportsocracy, get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in up to $2,500. Betus.com.
If you rode with me yesterday, you're welcome.
Sportsocracy is the promo code. The last odds that I pulled from there, Duke was minus 150 to win the ACC tournament. And then you got Notre Dame at plus 8, Carolina's at plus 8. I feel like those are I mean, you'd throw a bone or two at that, wouldn't you?
Not a shot.
No, because you think there is no chance that Duke and Carolina face off again, that it's going to be anywhere close.
I think it'd look exactly like the first one.
Oh, they'll just run them off the floor.
Well, okay, I shouldn't say it that way. I don't think it would look exactly like the first one. I think it would look more like the first one that did the second one. Because you take all the pressure away.
Right.
Duke gets to the final of this tournament, they're either a 1 or a 2. They're a 2 if they lose, they're a 1 if they win.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't have Grant Hill and every Duke captain sitting behind the bench. It's different. This is in Brooklyn, of which, by the way, I'm starting to come around to your belief that we should just do this in Greensboro every year.
Absolutely,
it's
we
much
should.
better than doing this in Brooklyn. Brooklyn doesn't really care about the Nets. So I really struggle to believe that they care about ACC basketball where there's 2 schools within 300 miles.
Right.
And they're both terrible.
There's one conference tournament in New York that matters, and it's the Big East tournament.
Mm-hmm.
At Madison Square Garden on the main stage, like that's the only one that even is a drop in the bucket in New York. The ACC tournament goes up to New York, and it just gets lost in the shuffle of all of the other things going on. That's not a college basketball market.
Oh, it is. It's just not a ACC college basketball market. Oh, yeah, when Georgetown and Syracuse and all of those Northeast teams are good, that's a great market.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's not a great draw up there? Florida State and Georgia Tech.
Right. Maybe I should have said a Southern basketball market.
That would have been more accurate.
How about that? But even that, I still feel like it's a drop in the, even for the Big East. The Big East becomes a drop in the bucket of all the other things going on in New York.
I mean, it is now because the best teams in the conference are Providence and Creighton and Villanova, which does have a following. Don't get me wrong.
Yep. And Providence had a scare today in the quarterfinals of the Big East tournament.
Oh, by the way, if you're a gambling individual, Villanova plays at 7 o'clock tonight. It's a 6.5-point favorite. Do you know who they play?
Villanova?
Mm-hmm.
So like Seton Hall?
St. John's.
St. John's.
If they don't cover that, I'll do tomorrow's show in a chicken suit.
Okay.
I think they could play 4 guys and beat St. John's by 6.5.
Right. Other major conference tournaments. Who you got? Who you got in the Big Ten? Who's coming out of that conference?
The Big Ten's weird. I mean, right now it's kind of hard for me not to say Iowa because they're beating Northwestern by $1 billion. I think it's 61-35 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's the best conference in America. Even Michigan. Michigan's what, the 7th or 8th best team in that conference?
Yeah.
They're going to sneak in. They're talented. And Juwan Howard comes back for the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm, based on what I've seen, I'm not necessarily sure that I would want him to. Phil Martelli seems to be doing just fine.
Well, Phil Martelli just, I saw after one of the first games that he took over, he was just like, I'm not really doing anything.
I love him.
Juwan has put in the game plan. We all know the game plan. We're just running it. He was like, I've been in charge of a basketball team before. I let the defensive guys do the defensive things. I let the offensive guys do the offensive things. And I'm just kind of here to make sure that we don't call a timeout at a bad time.
Phil Martelli is that uncle that we all have that retired about 10 years ago.
Right.
And now he's gone back to work, and he's just living for that Miller Lite at 5:05. Love that guy.
Just living the dream.
They asked him when Juwan Howard got suspended what he thought about being in the big chair, and he went, well, I think I've done this a time or two. He did, take St. Joe's to the Elite Eight one time. So
right. We got the Big Ten, the Big East, obviously the SEC, Pac-12 tournaments all are underway right now, and I just love tournament basketball so much. But who do you have good odds on if you wanted to wager on who's going to win these tournaments? We'll give you some tips coming up next right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Record cold headed to the Carolinas this weekend, and the chance for some snows coming into Asheville for Saturday. We're all the way down to 14 degrees Sunday morning, so don't pack away the winter gear quite yet. Next week looks much milder for us. 38 degrees our low tonight, partly cloudy and briefly mild on Friday, high 63. Then a cold front blast in Saturday with snows and wind, high 36, low 14 Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. Ray Magliozzi here. I don't cook much, but when I need ingredients for my car, eBay Motors has 122 million options. So whether I toasted my transmission or cooked my clutch, eBay Motors has all the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. It sure feels good to step into a warm car after letting it heat up for a few minutes. However, this practice wastes gas, increases emissions, and pollutes the air. Limit idling your car to no more than 3 minutes to save money at the gas station and improve air quality. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth. Last year, Lowe's completed 100 impact projects in communities across the United States as part of 100 Hometowns. Lowe's is making its largest ever commitment to give back to the communities it serves. Over the next 5 years, Lowe's will invest $100 million in community impact projects for those in need. Nominate your hometown project in need by March 28th. Visit Lowe's.com/hometowns to learn more or follow us at #Lowe'sHometowns.
Join iHeartRadio all month as we celebrate the passion, power, and immeasurable impact women have made in the world. It's Women's History Month. Enjoy great stations powered exclusively by females, like Women's History Month Radio, playlists like Women of R&B and Women Who Rock, and personally curated playlists by some of the most influential women in music, like Shania Twain and Madonna, plus tons of featured podcasts like The History Chicks, Red Table Talk, and Stuff Mom Never Told You. Let iHeartRadio be your Women's History Month one-stop audio destination.
Asheville, Monsters of Rock and Roll Return. March 18th and 19th, Monster TNT explodes into the Egg Center. Metallic monsters and raw horsepower. Tickets now at monstertnt.com or buy at Allen's Jewelry and Pawn for free pit passes.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers with Windows 11 Pro and get an easy start to your workday. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey guys, I'm Ziggy, your local Philly girl, owner of Ziggy's Bakery and Deli. I've created a traditional northern deli with only the most authentic cheesesteaks outside of Philadelphia, served with provolone, white American, or Cheese Whiz. Our other classic deli sandwiches are made with the best quality meats and cheeses, available sliced by the pound. Join us for breakfast for house-made bagels with our custom cream cheeses. Or for something heartier, try a pork roll, egg and cheese, or house-cured lox. Ziggy's Bakery and Deli, in the corner of Asheville Commons, 1550 Hendersonville Road, open 8 to 3, Tuesday through Saturday.
The underdog. The long shot. The nobody from nowhere, never gonna happen, 100 to 1 shot. We know something about that. We're with you every step of the way.
This week at Ingles, select 6 to 12 count Laurel and Cuddly soft bath tissue, $3.98 each. Select sizes and varieties Kellogg's Frosted Flakes or Fruit Loop cereal, 2 for $4. And select sizes and varieties Tide laundry detergent, $12.98 each. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Happy to break the news. Look, I'm happy. I'm a baseball guy, and baseball's coming back, folks. Jeff Passan reporting Major League Baseball and the MLB Players Association have reached a tentative agreement on a new labor deal. Sources tell ESPN while it still needs to be ratified by both parties, that is expected to be a formality, and when it is, baseball is back. He follows up by saying that players can report to spring training camps as early as tomorrow. Opening day is expected to be April 7th. As first reported by Jesse Rogers from ESPN, transactions unfreeze upon ratification, which is expected to come as early as today, meaning free agents can sign and trades can occur. Baseball is back, baby.
Freddie.
Yeah, now it's time. Now it's time for the Atlanta Braves. Yeah, Brian Hall screaming into the studio here. Now it's time for the Braves to get on Freddie Freeman. Make that signing. Let's not let him leave Atlanta. Holy smokes. I'm excited. Jeremy, we know you'd hate it, but guess what?
I'm happy for all of you. I mean, that's great. That's wonderful for you that there's baseball. Those of you that are passionate about it, I'm very happy for you. Now, here's my question. Did you actually resolve any of the problems, or did we put another Band-Aid on this so we can do this 5 years from now?
Look, they were trying to get a long-term deal done, so hopefully this is a long-term deal that we don't know what the agreement's going to be. But I think they've been looking at, 10 years, I think? I think that's what they're trying to get done is a 10-year deal, so we don't have to keep going through this.
That's the question I asked. I don't care how long the deal is. Mm-hmm. Did you fix the problems in your sport? Yes or no? What? Competitive balance. I know there's no salary cap. I tapped out on that.
There is no competitive balance in baseball.
Of course there's not.
Come on.
So can we just contract 10 teams and be done with it? Tampa Bay Rays. We need that. That's everybody's super excited about that.
That's definitely not one that would be on the chopping block for me. That's a very
Major League Baseball. That would be their first one.
Look, in between the chalk, that's one of the best run franchises in baseball. However, they do have a lot of business issues, and the stadium being one of them, and the fact that they are in Florida where nobody really cares about it. You know, everybody in Tampa's Yankee fans.
Florida doesn't care about much of anything. But later in this show, I do have a story from Florida that is hilarious.
Cannot wait for that. That coming up in the weird news.
Absolutely. You rest assured, if I say a story from Florida, that's the section of the show it's going in.
Next hour. All right, baseball is allegedly back, according to Jeff Passan of ESPN, and I trust everything that Jeff Passan says.
Jeff Passan is the Adam Schefter of Major League Baseball.
Of course he is. Yeah, absolutely. He has surpassed Buster Olney for me. He has surpassed Timmy Kirkjian for me. He is now my guy.
He doesn't have the voice of Kirkjian. Kirkjian still has the, hey, it's a baseball. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened. Baseball.
He does.
That's the greatest voice. The funniest segment I've seen on any radio show was the Scott Van Pelt doing the Baltimore accent and Tim Kirkjian just wetting himself laughing at it every single time.
All right, so good news for baseball fans. Baseball looks like it will be back if the deal is ratified, which is, like he said, it should be a formality. Spring training can open tomorrow.
And that's a good thing. Back. That's a good thing.
It's an absolute good thing. You know why? Because if this had continued for another 4 weeks, we would have lost out on the Red Sox visit down to Atlanta, and I'd have been mad.
Oh, wait a minute. Does that mean you're going to be gone for like a handful of days?
2 days.
Oh, when is that series?
Sometime in May. It's like May 15th.
That sounds like it's after the draft. That sounds like Jeremy being left with all the buttons to his own devices.
Oh, yeah. May 15th, May 16th, I think, are the dates on that one. I don't know. It's much harder to get a ticket down in Atlanta these days. I will say that. Last year had no problems getting the tickets. They even had specials going. Now that the Red Sox are in town and the Atlanta Braves are the defending World Series champions, you're going to have a fight on your hands trying to get tickets, but I'm going to race you to it right now. We were talking about the major conference tournaments in college basketball and who might be able to win you some money this weekend as all of these go down, because, I mean, to me, there are good bets in every conference. And not just the favorites. Like in the Big Ten, Purdue is plus 175. On betus.com, promo code Sportsocracy. Get that $125 or 125% deposit bonus. Illinois, Iowa, both at plus 400. Wisconsin's plus 600, and that's one that I'm looking at going.
That one jumps at me. That's all about Johnny Davis. Where exactly is he going to fall in? Are they going to withhold him? I have not heard anything about that. Have you?
I have not heard anything about Johnny Davis. He took the flagrant foul in the last game of the season, and I don't know what his availability is going to be like, but I have to imagine that they are going to be watching him with a keen eye to make sure that he's ready to go for the big tournament. We don't need to win the Big Ten. We want to win the national championship, and I think that is a team that's got a decent shot to make a dark horse run at the national championship. Rutgers is plus 1,400.
Rutgers could be plus 14 million, and you're still setting money on fire.
Now, wait a minute. In Disney World, they could do it. They could, in that fantasy world where one team makes a run of any team that's probably plus 1,000 or more in any conference tournament, I think Rutgers probably be the one.
You have watched entirely too many Disney movies.
How did I know that's what
Rutgers could come up against a team of Mickey, Minnie, Daffy, Huey, and Louie, and I would take them against Rutgers.
Why? That's a good team.
That's good-ish.
With Ron Harper Jr.?
Name another player on that team.
I can't off the top of my head.
And
but
huzzah!
But I'm bad at that game. You know that.
You are.
You ask me all the time, like, hey, can you tell me 5 players from the Phoenix Suns? No, I got Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker. Other than that,
Cam Payne, greatest name in the NBA.
Right, Cam Johnson. He's on that team. Like, I struggle with this game routinely.
By the way, I'm just going to give a piece of advice before we get it just about outside.
Yeah.
Yesterday in 5 on it, I threw out just a little nugget of, if you see Jimmy Butler doesn't play tonight, you should put it all on Phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah, that worked out nicely. Thanks, Devin Booker.
Good for you. Did you count that toward your record?
I did.
Good.
I did. I said it. So as long as I said it, I feel like it should count.
Good.
In the comments, you tell me if I'm right or wrong. Just because it wasn't on the graphic, I did say it.
He did say it, and he needed that one to get above 500 for the year.
No. That's different game.
Yeah,
I said that in 5 on it.
Oh, yeah. 5 on it, yeah.
Yeah, yesterday, before we ever did Green on Green, I said, this is the ugliest slate of basketball I think I've ever seen. Yep. Went about how I said it would.
Yep.
1-3. Back below 500.
Big East tournament, would you put any money on anybody other than Villanova?
I don't think I'd put any money on anybody. I wouldn't be shocked. There's probably not a team left in that tournament that would shock me if they won it. You got Creighton and Marquette right now. Either one of them would. Providence is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Villanova and whoever wins Connecticut, Seton Hall.
To me, I think Providence is the value there. They're plus 400 to win the Big East.
If I was going to do it would probably be that one.
Yeah.
I'd throw 20 shekels at it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to betus.com, put down a deposit, they'll give you all these free shekels that you can throw right at those things. It's free money.
That's right. In the SEC, Kentucky's the favorite. Auburn is the second favorite. Kentucky's plus 200.
Arkansas is the one that I would be. The way Arkansas plays is very conducive to tournament basketball.
Yeah.
We saw that last year in the tournament.
Arkansas's plus 600. And
yep, already made the sale.
The Tennessee Volunteers are plus 400.
Nope, still in Arkansas.
Already
made the sale.
Okay,
I'm already on the plane.
made the sale.
Yep,
All right,
already clicked
That's
the button.
That's the one. And in the Pac-12 Conference Championship, Arizona minus 30 or minus 130. They're the overwhelming favorite.
As well they should be.
But if I was going to take a long shot, plus 800 on USC, you think they have what it takes to win? No.
And
I
they're
don't see too
really
many.
infuriating, too.
Yeah, I don't see too many teams hanging in there with Arizona.
I have wagered on a lot of USC games, and seemingly if I took USC, I was wrong.
Right. We'll keep you up to date on all of the action as it continues here throughout the conference tournaments. Right now at the half in the ACC tournament, you got Miami on top of Boston College, 34-32. Let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Okay, yesterday we had the breaking news. We've had breaking news every day this week.
I'm waiting to see what quarterback gets traded today.
Right. I mean, we had Tuesday, we had Russell Wilson gets traded to Denver. Yesterday we had Carson Wentz gets traded to the Washington Commanders. We'll talk about that.
Still can't say it without laughing.
We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Today we've had baseball has agreed to a deal, and they're going to get back on the field. I'm waiting for the next bomb to drop, but when the bomb dropped yesterday about the Carson Wentz trade to the Washington football team, or the Washington Commanders as they are now called, Darius Leonard, star linebacker, Pro Bowler, career man with the Indianapolis Colts, his one response to the trade, here we go again. Now the 5th year in a row that we're going to have a different quarterback. It's actually 6. It's actually 6. But Darius Leonard just, here we go again.
And you're in better shape this way.
They're in better shape with what could be rather than sticking with Carson Wentz.
I fully believe that you will have a deal done for Jimmy Garoppolo before this weekend is over.
Okay.
Now, the question is it the Saints or is it the Colts? Because I'm getting conflicting reports on the two. So at this point, neither one's going to shock me.
See, how the Saints going to make that work?
I don't know. Bernie Madoff is their accountant. I have absolutely no idea.
Well,
it would be one thing if I did not understand the cap the way that I do.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I hear these things, I'm like, but how is that going to be? Okay, that doesn't make sense. You can't just keep doing that forever.
Right. And why would Jimmy Garoppolo want to take that kind of a deal? Does he have a no-trade clause?
No.
Oh.
There's only like 3 of those in the NFL. Russell Wilson was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not very common in the NFL.
Yeah. No, I just feel like Jimmy should be eyeing the Indianapolis deal and going,
well, I mean,
let's hope that happens.
Well, and I think you're looking at that in a strange way because to me, if I'm looking at this, yes, Indianapolis is a better team. But if I go to New Orleans, we're the best team in that division by a lot. A whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Far more than you're wanting to admit with Kyle Trask as your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Deshaun Watson. We'll talk about that in the next hour.
Yeah, you can keep lying to yourself if you want to. We still got weapons on that team.
One of us is lying to ourselves. It is not me.
Oh, I think differently. Anyway, yeah, Darius Leonard, he's along for the ride. Of course, he tweeted out to Carson Wentz and said, thanks for the year, but that's all you get.
If you signed a $110 million deal, what would be your first action?
Buy a new car.
For you, that is the right answer.
Yep.
Maybe buy 2 of them just in case you do the same thing to the first one that you did to the current one.
I think I'm going to get that $3 million car that Tom Brady's got.
Bad idea. You need to stick in that $20,000 buy here, pay here range because I've seen what you do to cars and I will say you've kept yours running for almost as long as I've been alive. So maybe I'm wrong on that.
This is true.
Lincoln Riley just did this in Southern California, and his first act was to buy a $17.2 million house in Palo Verde's Estates, California.
For him.
This house is one of the most unbelievable things you'll ever see. Spanish Revival style. It's on 3.25 acres in Southern California.
That's a lot of land for California.
The crazy part, the original asking price was $19.5. He got them to drop $2.4 million in this housing market where every house goes over list.
Right.
If you're selling or trying to buy a house, ClarissaSellsWNC.com.
But I'd be curious.
If I was a USC fan, I'd be sitting here going, how in the world did you get a 10% reduction in this market?
Right. But I would think the high end would have something to do with that. Like I have no clue about the high end real estate market, but I got a feeling that since the entire country feels pretty strapped right now, the demand on $19 million homes is probably not that high. Maybe I'm wrong.
In Southern California, I'm going to disagree with you for the square.
Okay. Maybe so.
This house is insane. It has a tennis court. It has a 600 bottle wine room,
mm-hmm.
a putting green, and a movie theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good for you. And by the way, the reason I told this story, if you need a reason he left Norman, Oklahoma to go to L.A., found it. You have that in Southern California, you're pretty much set for the rest of your life.
Yeah. People have these fantasies about winning the, $500 million jackpots. I just want to win the $100,000, what is it, the Cash 7 or whatever contest.
I'm that guy that everybody makes fun of.
Oh, you won't play unless it's 100.
I only play Powerball if it's $200 million.
Right.
They tell me it's 50. I'm like, well, give me a pack of chewing gum.
That ain't worth it. That's not going to change my life.
Yeah, that wouldn't put a dent in your payment schedule, would it? You homeless looking individual.
Right. No, I'm just hoping to win, $100,000, get me a nice car, and then I'm good.
I chase that every night on DraftKings. We're good with that.
Got about as good a chances at winning the Millionaire as you do winning the Powerball.
I have a drastically better chance of winning the Millionaire on DraftKings than I ever do in Powerball.
I guess fair enough. You have had back-to-back 300-plus point nights.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, just starting next week, we will be throwing out a DFS lineup every day in the happy hour.
Excellent.
I have reinvigorated my love of playing NBA DFS.
Since he made one little mistake Night before last.
I don't want to talk about that. Jonas Valanciunas, I swear to you, if he walked in the studio right now, he and I would have words.
Would you Buddy Boeheim him?
Yes,
Yeah.
and then I would run as fast as my feet would take me. There would be nothing left of me but the scent of my cologne and my flip-flops in the hall.
He definitely has the reach on you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and that's a mean individual.
Yeah.
And then last night, he scored 50. Thanks. Could have done that the night before. Cost me thousands of dollars. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you
50 in fantasy points. Yeah. Gotcha. I was like, I don't remember seeing that he scored 50 last night.
Oh, yeah. You remember you remember yesterday I said that if I was betting the Pelicans Magic, I'd have Magic the money line?
Yes.
It was never even close. The Pelicans are horrible. I saw a story the other day of, the young core, everybody should be excited in New Orleans. And I went, are you watching a different team than I am? Is there a G League team in New Orleans that you could possibly be talking about? Because this is an assault on your eyeballs.
Come on, they're going to make a push. They're making a push for the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to make a push for something. Make a push to get out of New Orleans.
Well, they're still in the playoff hunt, aren't they?
Everybody in the NBA is in the playoff hunt. The NBA playoff hunt is, the Magic are out, the Pistons are out, and everybody else has a shot.
It's gonna be that way in Major League Baseball soon too. I think the 12 team playoff is a part of that.
Who's shocked?
Hey, I'm just happy we're going to get back on the field.
Why do we need more teams in the playoffs?
Because everybody needs to feel included.
Oh, yeah, fair. That's my favorite word in English language.
It's like the Pac-12. Did you see what the Pac-12 did with their all-conference awards?
First team?
Yeah, how do you have 10 men on your first team all-conference? No, it's 5 in basketball. We can only put 5 on the floor at a time. You don't have to cover up all these people's feelings by, we just had too many good players this year. We couldn't dare make Johnny Juzang a second team player.
It's the Pac-12. I'm shocked they don't have a halftime hug to make everybody feel included.
That's points for Flostradamus.
The Pac-12. Tell me you're irrelevant without telling me you're irrelevant.
Our first team has 10 players.
And done.
Right. I saw somebody wrote up yesterday. It was UCLA has 3 players on the all Pac-12 first team for the first time since I think it was like the Tyus Edney days.
Well, of course they do, because now you have twice as many players on it.
You can't do that. You can't have 3 UCLA players and 3 Arizona players on the first team all Pac-12. It's not the way this works. But I guess it's their league. They can do what they want to.
Rob Johnson asked in the comments, how about the Lakers losing to the Rockets last night?
Gosh.
That was the first thing I asked sports freak Brian Hall today. What in the world was that?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that team's bad. Who could ever have thought that adding Russell Westbrook to LeBron James would not end well? 2 ball-dominant players, and there's only 1 basketball.
I was going to say, he's a very scary-looking leprechaun sitting across the desk from me.
Yeah, because if you watched our NBA draft coverage, I literally laughed for 2 solid hours going, who approved this?
Right. LeBron approved it. That's who approved it.
I'm going to be honest with you. One of the things that I love about the way that the sports schedule goes now, look, there's a reason I love the NFL and college football above everything else. Because, A, I have the attention span of a gnat. So anything that takes 9 months, I'm Seacrest out.
Mm-hmm.
But you got free agency starting in earnest the 16th. It really starts Monday. So next week's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But all of these things in the little lull between free agency and the draft hits right in that time that I can get super into the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do the NBA, and then the draft comes up, which is right around the first round of the playoffs, which I couldn't care less about if I tried.
Right.
And then once that's done, you're into the meat and taters of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And once the playoffs is done, we're back to football season.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you, sports, for laying this out exactly how it needs to be.
And don't forget, once we get done with the NCAA tournament as well, you got spring football starting. I'm going to get you on spring football.
I'll bet $1 million cash you don't.
I'll bet $1 million cash that you're betting on it.
Oh, duh.
Okay, all right.
I'll bet on what color shirt you wear. I'll wager on anything. If you can make it a money-making adventure, I'm in.
Right. Now, yeah, to me it's kind of sad, but it's also funny to look at what's happened to the Los Angeles Lakers. You know, They don't have it.
They're terrible.
Yeah. They
got beat last night by a team that was centered around Kevin Porter Jr. Yep, that guy that Cleveland, when they were awful, went, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
We're done with you. They traded him for a top 55 protected second-round pick. Jalen Greene, who I think would struggle to defend me. Love his game. Not much of a defender. And Alperen Sengun.
And Wood. Christian
Wood was out.
Oh, he was out?
Yeah, Christian Wood was sitting on the sidelines going, what is happening right now?
Who is this team? Yeah, no, that's what's funny to me is that LeBron is the one that orchestrated that. He wanted his buddy Russ to be down there with him and AD. They brought in Carmelo Anthony as well, and they are just god-awful.
Well, what's funny is that, and the reason we brought this up is because I've caught more flack about James Harden and Russell Westbrook in the time we've been doing this than any other player. Because I've gone on record saying Russell Westbrook is the most overrated player in any sport that I have ever seen, and it is not even close.
Yes.
It's weird. I don't catch any flack about that anymore. Now, Harden, that's starting to chirp back up, and my argument would be, well, this is the first time he's been the second best player on his team in quite some time.
Yeah, because you look at the way he and Embiid are playing together.
That works.
Yeah, you got to go.
Him and Durant doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Building a basketball team is really not that hard. If somebody that's ball dominant should not be on the floor with somebody else that's ball dominant, looking directly at the Brooklyn Nets. Weird. One of these is going really well, and one of them is not.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight, we get to see it. That's 76ers.
Oh, really?
Tonight.
Oh, this is the one that everybody was hoping Ben Simmons would be back for.
Oh, this is and I have ways for you to enjoy this the Jeremy way.
The Jeremy way. Oh, yeah. All right, so he's got picks coming up for you. Green on Green will be coming up in just a minute, but right now for me, it's all college basketball. That's where my brain's at. Obviously, the offseason in the NFL, we've had the trades, we've had all of that, but now I'm flipping the switch. I'm flipping the switch to college basketball, and I'm just locked in on who's going to do the best, who's going to make a run in their tournament to be able to jump their seeding up. If North Carolina, by some chance, say Duke gets knocked off by anybody, whether it be North Carolina in the championship game or whether it be before they get there, Carolina wins this thing, well, they could be like a 7-6 seed.
Oh, which they could easily be a 7. They could be as high as they could get all the way up to a 5.
Really?
I don't know that that's what you want to have happen, but they could.
Yeah. Well, to me, I mean, I don't want to be in the 8-9 game.
You'd rather be in the 8-9 game than the 5-12. And I don't think it's all that close.
You think those mid-major teams are that strong?
They're about 5 that will end up being 12, 13-ish seeds that are going to be. This is one of those years that if you win your bracket, the bracket challenge, whether it's at your work or with us, you may very well be a wedge.
Or just extremely lucky.
Both of those
like
things.
Armchair Commentary was last year. I'm sorry I had to say it. He's been waving that banner of I'm the champion for so long.
And he is.
He's the champion. He's the reigning champion. We will have a bracket group set up through ESPN.com. We will get you all of the information on that. The links and everything will be posted in the descriptions of our videos, so you can go and sign up and measure your greatness against, well, ours, I guess. I don't know.
You almost said mine, didn't you?
I almost said yours, but then I was like, yeah, but the only bracket games I've ever played with you didn't do very well.
So I used to be phenomenal at it. The last 3 or 4 years, I've been terrible.
Picking against the spread, I'll give you your credit on that one. You're pretty good at that. When it comes to picking outright winners in a tournament fashion, I've never seen you do really well.
I get too cute.
Mm-hmm.
I always have a 12 that ends up in like the Sweet 16 that gets beat early, and then it's after the first 2 days, I'm looking at my potential points going, well, not a lot of ceiling left here, is there?
Right. I feel like in this upcoming tournament, there's going to be a lot of places where you can just go chalk, but there are going to be also some double-digit seeds that are going to sneak up and bite somebody. And why do I feel like UT Chattanooga is one of those?
You've been saying that since we watched that buzzer beater on Monday at the 2022 Ingles SoCon Basketball Championship.
Yes. I mean, they got the height with DeSosa. They've got, experience, obviously, with the oldest man in the SoCon, including the commissioner, David Jean-Baptiste.
Yeah, I think that he was so likable, though.
He's such a great kid.
I hope they catch a good draw.
I do, too. I don't want to see them matched up against Joe Lenardi has them matched up currently in the first round against Providence. And I feel like that could be a barn burner of a game. It could be one that Chattanooga could win. But Providence is...
That would be fun.
Providence is pretty good as well.
I can't wait for Sunday.
It's going to be great. Selection Sunday coming up this weekend. Well, we got all the conference tournaments going on as we speak. Let me get you caught up here. We got a 1-point game, 40-39, Boston College on top of Miami in the ACC tournament. And elsewhere around the league, Iowa's killing Northwestern 96-64. There's still 6.5 minutes to go, and Iowa has 94 points or 96 points.
That's a lot in a college basketball game.
Holy smokes. 3-point game at the half, Creighton up on Marquette. We got a 2-point game, Stanford trying to pull the upset on number 2 Arizona in the Pac-12 Conference Championship tournament. 3.5 minutes to go in the first half of that one. Coming up after the break, Jeremy's going to give you the winners for tonight in the Green on Green.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Hi, I'm Debbie Childress, Director of the Grayson County Alliance, a food pantry in rural Kentucky. Thanks to a local farmer, we recently received a $2,500 donation from America's Farmers Grow Communities, sponsored by the Monsanto Fund, a philanthropic arm of Bayer. As a result, we expanded a classroom where we teach families about nutrition and personal finance. I encourage all farmers to enroll for a chance to direct a $2,500 donation to a local nonprofit. Visit growcommunities.com.
If you're suffering every day with joint pain, stop and listen. You can get real lasting relief now with the natural biologic treatments of QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative solutions that can restore and repair damaged tissue with no surgery and no drugs. This is the relief you've been hoping for your aching hips, knees, shoulder, and lower back. The unique protocols at QC Kinetics were created by a physician with years of study in regenerative restorative medicine. They're treating patients every day in hundreds of clinics nationwide with remarkable success, life-changing results with zero downtime. It's the new, better, smarter, non-surgical, non-invasive way to deal with joint pain. And yes, they're right here ready to help you now. Call for a free consultation. Make this spring and summer your best ever with no joint pain holding you back. QC Kinetics, located in Asheville and Greenville. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
As the country bounces back from COVID and mask mandates are lifted, your business needs a lift too. Promote your company right here, right now. Radio ads connect with 93% of Americans every week. That's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches 20% more millennials than TV. Want more of the people you want to talk to all in one place? Visit iHeartAdvertising.com and get AM and FM working for you. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Autozone. So you need to change your oil. Right now you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Daily Protection or Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP oil filter, plus an STP air filter or cabin air filter for just $36.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Coffee's the closer's only.
Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
A 1-3 Wednesday has me back below 500 for the year. I need to get that back. Good thing is, this is a night that I'm really fond of in the NBA. Only 2 games. So we're going pillar to post on both. First, the Philadelphia 76ers are a 4-point favorite tonight against Brooklyn. Over-under is 234. Since James Harden has shown up, this 76ers team looks like the title contender we were told they would be. I don't think this game's ever going to be in doubt, but I do think it's going to stay just close enough to go over the 234, but I love the 76ers. I'm not sure how this is going to work with the Nets. It just looks clunky. They have not had the symmetry that the 76ers have. I don't think this game's close. Revenge for Harden. Give me the 76ers -4 over the 234. Finally, my 2022 NBA champion Denver Nuggets are a 2.5-point dog tonight at home against Golden State. Over-under 229. I love the over-under. I'm going aggressively over the 229. I think this will be a shootout. Denver played last night. Nikola Jokic was phenomenal last night. The numbers because of the short rest. Doesn't matter to me. Give me my Nuggets +2.5.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
Now you can take those wagers over to betus.com, betus.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy. Get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500.
Yeah, last night against the Kings, I'm pretty sure they could have guarded him with 2 people, both equipped with hammers, and I still don't think they could have stopped him.
Yeah, this James Harden experiment with Joel Embiid, I feel like they are a real threat to win it all. I've thought long that the top of the West was going to win it. One of those teams, whether it be Phoenix, whether it be Golden State.
Phoenix is very good. Now that they're getting healthy, you had Booker and COVID protocols. You're not going to have Chris Paul back until around the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That makes me a little nervous with them. The West is just very deep. I mean, you got teams like Dallas that no one talks about. Memphis that no one talks about. It's going to be difficult to come out of the West.
The only thing I can talk about these days is my weight loss. With PhD Weight Loss, I've been on this program now for 15 weeks. I've lost 45 pounds. I am down to a slim trim 250, which I don't think I've seen since high school. I love this program.
I am also back to my high school weight, and over the course of the entire week at the basketball, I had a slew of people come up to me and go, "There's something different about you." It took me a couple days to realize, I've lost almost 40 pounds since the last time I saw you. Convenience is what got me in this shape. Fast food was always more convenient. Well, the good thing about PhD, their healthy, nutritious food, is convenient as well. I'm sleeping better, I feel better, and frankly, it's all better.
80% of successful weight loss is all about the nutrition, and PhD Weight Loss can teach you how to basically retrain your body, get into a different mindset and a body set. That's exactly what they're doing for us, and they can do that for you. Go to myphdweightloss.com. That's myphdweightloss.com. We got Tar Heel Time with Jones Angell coming up after the Sports Center.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Record cold headed to the Carolinas this weekend, and the chance for some snows coming into Asheville for Saturday. We're all the way down to 14 degrees Sunday morning, so don't pack away the winter gear quite yet. Next week looks much milder for us. 38 degrees our low tonight, partly cloudy and briefly mild on Friday, high 63. Then a cold front blast in Saturday with snows and wind, high 36, low 14 Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast, now with a free drink with any breakfast sandwich purchase. The number one pick is in. Wendy's Breakfast, the official breakfast of March Madness. Choose your starting lineup, like the Breakfast Baconator or Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit, and enjoy oven-baked bacon, fresh cracked eggs, seasoned breakfast potatoes, and Simply OJ. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's.
92.9 FM, 880 AM, and...
The long shot. The nobody from nowhere, never gonna happen, 100 to 1 shot. We know something about that. We're with you every step of the way.
This week at Ingles, select 6 to 12 count Laurel and Cuddly soft bath tissue, $3.98 each. Select sizes and varieties Kellogg's Frosted Flakes or Fruit Loop cereal, 2 for $4. And select sizes and varieties Tide laundry detergent, $12.98 each. Ingles, low prices, love this.
Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer is an official offer to buy your car. Enter your vehicle ID info, answer some questions, then get a no obligation offer to sell or trade it. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car. Schedule a time and drive away with confidence. For all of the its, KBB.com it.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. After the second longest work stoppage in baseball history, players and owners reach a deal on a new collective bargaining agreement. The lockout ends after 99 days, and the plan is to play a full 162-game schedule, with opening day tentatively set for April 7th, 1 week later than originally scheduled. At the Big East quarterfinals in New York today, the top seed had to win it at the end.
Parker inbounds, dumps it off underneath for Bynum. It's loose on the floor. He spins out of trouble. He dumps it off to Bynum. Up the floor to Durham. Durham drives and slams. Point for the cut. It's over. The Flyers will advance.
John Rook and Joe Hassett on Lear Field. Providence closes the game on a 9-2 run to beat Butler 65-61. Nate Watson with 26 to lead the way. At the ACC quarterfinals, Duke beats Syracuse 88-79. In the NBA tonight, 1 month after their blockbuster trade, the Nets and 76ers meet in Philadelphia.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews right from your employer dashboard. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. It's Tourney Time, and it's Tar Heel time. It's 4 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. And as always, joined by the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, Jones, Angell, and man, oh man, that game on Saturday night, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was. Tank, certainly the Tar Heels, first of all, great to be with you again. And the Tar Heels played really well, and they had to. Duke's a really good team, as we know. And so it was going to take a great effort from Carolina. And I thought the Tar Heels played one of their better games of the season. Certainly that second half was really impressive basketball offensively for Carolina. I thought it was an important stretch right before halftime when Duke had gone on a big run after Carolina had led for a majority of the game. And the Tar Heels were down, I think, at one point 8 or 9 there late in the first half, and cut it down to just a 2-point deficit before the break. That felt important for them to still be right there in the mix, and hung around there and then went on the big run at the end. And so just a really impressive performance for Carolina. And, big picture, certainly it's one that Tar Heel fans have enjoyed because it was one that was just bigger than just a regular Carolina Duke game.
Oh, no doubt.
All the stuff that surrounded the game. And all the attention that was put on certain parts of that game for the Tar Heels to go in there and win it was certainly a satisfying one for them. And now the job is to try and reset, because I don't think that's always easy, Tank, especially after such an emotional close to the regular season. You get that big win, regular season's over, you have a couple days before you play again, and how the Tar Heels respond tonight will go a long way to how they do in the ACC tournament.
Well, before we get into the end of the tournament, I was asked this question earlier this week, and I have to know your answer. My answer was yes. Was that the greatest victory in all of college basketball's history in a rivalry game? I mean, I know we've had matchups of, Carolina comes in, or Carolina and Duke come in ranked 1 and 2 in the country, and it's a battle, and fighting for number 1 seeds and all that. But to be able to pull that off with, as you said, everything surrounding that game, what do you think?
Well, it is certainly kind of, I think, for Tar Heel fans, from the rivalry fodder aspect of the game, that they have a trump card that'll never go away at this point.
Right.
And so I think from that angle, that's where it was so extra sweet and satisfying for the Tar Heels, is that there were some extra stakes on that game. Because I said this a moment ago, every time Carolina and Duke play, it's an important game, it's a fun game, it's a special game. And there have been times where the team that didn't have as good a year as the other one won the game. Tar Heels have done that before, where they were the underdog. Duke's done it before when it was the underdog. But it was more than just that. It was the entire aspect of the Mike Krzyzewski final game and all the lead up to that. And so certainly from the rivalry aspect of it, it is the ultimate ace in the hole for Tar Heel fans moving forward.
Oh, yeah, and there will not be a Tar Heel fan, you, me, whoever, that will ever see that banner hanging in Cameron Indoor Stadium with Coach K's record on it, and we all know how it ended.
Yeah, and it was, and I think, too, while all of that is great, I think for this team this year, it was an important win as well. For Carolina to continue playing the way that it has been playing over the last couple of weeks. This is their 5th consecutive win, 11th in the last 13 games. To get a high-profile quad 1 win, we heard so much about how the Tar Heels didn't have a ton of quality wins. So for them to get that for this team this year, it was an important win too. And so I think that solidified certainly Carolina's participation in the NCAA tournament. And now I think Carolina's in a position this week in Brooklyn to now you're not sitting there just trying to make the tournament. I think Carolina has the opportunity to improve its seeding and to get in a better position for the NCAA tournament. And, of course, that starts tonight coming up against Virginia.
Absolutely. And hopefully, things will continue to be rough going for the number 1 seed Duke Blue Devils, as Syracuse has given them all they could handle in the afternoon session of today. But coming up tonight against Virginia, who's the X factor, do you think, in this little run that the Tar Heels are hoping to make?
Well, I don't know if you can really point to one guy. I think Carolina certainly has leaned heavily on its starting 5. I mean, those guys didn't come out of the game in the second half in the game in Durham. Manick
crazy.
And Davis played the entire 40 minutes of that game. And I do think R.J. Davis was such a difference maker in that game in Durham, and the way that he directed the team, the way that he made the decision on when to shoot, when to pass, the way that he was able to penetrate to the rim, how he used that high screen from either Baycott or Manick, and then making the decision off of that. I just thought he was really, really impressive in running the team, not just getting big shots and he himself scoring, which he did, but to actually just orchestrate things for the Tar Heels in total, I thought was really important. And so, yeah, I don't know if he's the one guy. I would certainly say he is one of several Tar Heels that have proven that they need to do good things for Carolina to have a chance to win. But I also think, Tank, I think especially tonight, you'll probably have to use that bench a little bit more. You'll have to see Puff Johnson. You'll have to see Dontrez Styles and Justin McCoy and whoever else that Hubert Davis feels like can come in and give you some minutes. I think it'll be important for the Tar Heels to get some guys in there and get quality minutes off that bench.
Yeah, what was it? Only 7 guys played in the Duke game, and as you mentioned, none of the starters came out in the second half, which led to something that's never happened in Tar Heel basketball before, with 4 guys scoring 20 or more in the same game. But I mean, it is that core group, those 4: Armando Bacot, Brady Manick, Caleb Love, R.J. Davis. I feel like with that group, and if you get Leaky Black playing as hard as he has been on the defensive end, this is a team that could make a run for that championship this week.
Absolutely, and I do think, and I understand the angle you were taking was on the offensive side, but Leaky Black is just as critical to Carolina's success as those other guys with what he's doing. And, yeah, he was so good defensively in the Duke game, as he has been a large majority of the year. I mean, A.J. Griffin scored 27 in the game in Chapel Hill. He had 5 in the game in Durham, and that's because Leaky Black guarded him for a large majority of the game. And so I think that also, I think, speaks, Tank, to how Carolina has settled in to understanding what the role is of each guy who's playing a lot of minutes and how they can be most successful, or what they can do to help the team be most successful. And so I do think this team has grown, matured, and gelled. Hubert Davis has said this a few times here, particularly as of late, that he feels like the team is as healthy as it has been all year. And he's not talking about healthy as in, injured or sick. He's talking about in just everybody fully embracing what their role is and understanding and playing together and all those different things. And so I would say Leaky Black certainly is important in that conversation, just like the other guys are. But I do think, the Tar Heels are a team that can play with anyone. We've seen that. And that's why I do think getting that validation of the Duke game was so important, is that, Carolina has been really good against teams that the Tar Heels are better than or equal to this year. There have been a couple of exceptions, but not many, where the Heels have played very well in those scenarios. What you hadn't seen from the Tar Heels is, can you go toe-to-toe with one of those top teams in the country this year? They've had some chances and fallen short this season. And so for them to go against a team in Duke that's had a terrific season, ranked in the top 10 for a large majority of the year, and for them to go toe-to-toe with them and win that game, I think validated some of that as well. So exciting to see, and certainly you hope that it carries over here to the postseason. Yeah,
North Carolina, as you mentioned, going up against those big, those higher-ranked teams around the country. I mean, you just look at the Quad 1 record. It doesn't really pop off the page at you unless you look at that Duke game. The Duke game kind of saved it all. Yeah, we're 2-7 against Quad 1 teams, but do have that big one and playing the best basketball they played all year long coming down the stretch.
Well, and I will say this about the Quad 1 stuff, and not that, nobody needs an excuse from the Tar Heels, but they only had one of those Quad 1 opportunities at home. And so I do think that that hurts you in that scenario, that you just didn't have a lot of chances to pick up some quality wins against good teams at home. The only opportunity they had was Duke in Chapel Hill, and certainly the Blue Devils were much better than the Tar Heels that night. So that speaks a little bit, I think, to the conference this season, something that we've talked a lot about this year, Tank. And it was just, that die was cast kind of in November and December when the league struggled in out-of-conference play. Then you get into January and February where all you're doing is playing one another. Well, at that point, it's hard to move up or down that much within those metrics, because all you're doing is playing one another. And so the struggles that the league had in the pre-conference season just kind of hung around all the way through the second half of the regular season through conference play. And so, yes, an enormous win for the Tar Heels in that regard. It would have been great to have some more opportunities, like I said, at home, but they'll take every one of those big wins in Durham this past weekend.
Well, tonight, taking on the Virginia Cavaliers, first time out this season, beat them 74-58 at the Smith Center. What should we be looking for in the way the Virginia Cavaliers have been playing as of late?
It might be. I don't know if the Tar Heels be favored against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
No, I don't think we're favored in that game.
I think that was one of Carolina's better games of the season. I thought the game in Chapel Hill in early January, where they just, they did a lot of things well that you have to do to beat Virginia. Virginia is so deliberate in what they do, and you hear about their defense so much, but I think just as important is how they work offensively to get good shots, and they really make you work as the opposition defensively. You have to be locked in for the full possession, and there's so much movement and so many cuts, and there's just very rarely any stagnation off the ball for Virginia. They take a lot of time, as we know. They're happy to run the clock down, so it's a lower possession game. So every defensive effort is really important, and then it's really hard to score against them because that's what they focus the most on is their defense. I thought Carolina did really well in Chapel Hill. Was two things. One, what we just talked about, the defensive effort throughout entire possessions, and then Carolina's spacing offensively was really impressive in the game in Chapel Hill. They moved the ball crisply. They had 19 assists on 28 field goals. They shot the ball well from the perimeter, particularly Manick and Caleb Love. Those two combined to make, I believe it was 9 3-pointers between those two players in the game in Chapel Hill. And they just made it that they were hard to guard. Carolina was hard to guard because they were spreading that floor, moving the ball, getting quality looks. And, of course, you may remember, Tank, that was one of Armando Bacot's in a season full of enormous games. That was maybe the biggest, where he had 29 points and 22 rebounds. And so Virginia, like a lot of teams in the conference this year, they have some big guys, but they're big guys that are a little bit younger and maybe still working their way to becoming high-quality ACC players. And Bacot was able to feast in that particular game. Now, the two big guys that Virginia plays, Caden Shedrick and also Francisco Cafaro, those guys have gotten better since Carolina played them 2 months ago. And so it's not going to be as easy for Bacot as it was that first time around. And so he'll have to be ready to play at a high level. We've certainly seen that when he plays well, it goes a long way to the Tar Heels playing well.
I can remember earlier in the season, Coach Davis was talking about this team doesn't really have a leader, and he's looking for somebody to step up and be that leader. Do you think we've gotten to a point where we've identified one specific leader, or because to me it seems lately it's kind of game to game on who's going to be that guy? And you mentioned R.J. Davis earlier. I think he's done a lot to step up in that role.
Yeah, it's a great question, Tank, and it's one I haven't asked specifically, to a coach or to a player to get a feel for what they would have to say. But I agree with you in that I think that group of the starting five has all taken such an elevated role that's been a big part of it for Carolina. I do think Davis and Bacot both have been leaders both on and off the court for the Tar Heels. And so that they are guys that have stepped up in big situations. And again, you go and you look at what happened last game. And the last several games where everybody who's been on the court has done something to help Carolina win the game. And so that has been really important for them.
Hard for me to believe that it has been 6 years since the Tar Heels won an ACC tournament. Long overdue, right?
Yeah, it is. And I think some of that is there are just a lot more teams in the conference now. And so it is never easy to go through this event. The Tar Heels had a couple of seasons in there, too, and in 2020 in particular, where they didn't have their best year. And this is a hard event to win. You're you play some really high-quality teams. I think a lot of teams in the league are playing better than they were earlier in the season. I think Virginia falls into that category. And so it's a hard event to win. I know this. Hubert Davis takes this event very seriously. He was really successful in this event as a player. He was 8-2, won 2 championships when he was a player at Carolina. I think it's an event that, as someone who grew up, loving the ACC and loving Carolina, that is a big deal to him. And so he is focused in and wants his team to really play at a high level tonight.
All right, last question before I let you go. Just have to know, as you're one traveling with the team and you've been to all of these sites for the ACC tournament, it should always be in Greensboro, right? You're on my side on this, right?
Absolutely. There's no reason for it to leave. And I'll throw Charlotte in there too.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's any reason for it to leave Greensboro or Charlotte. And I understand on paper saying that it's in New York, but Tank, I mean, it's just it doesn't move the needle here. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
And even if somebody is in New York is cognizant of college basketball being played here, it's the Big East tournament, the one that's in Madison Square Garden. That's the one they focus on. And so I understand on paper why you would say, oh, it's valuable to move it here. But I also understand how much it is valued, especially in Greensboro, and then maybe not quite as much, but still at a high level in Charlotte. And so, those are places, I think especially Charlotte is becoming such a hub of ACC activity, with the football championship game being there every single season now, with Charlotte being heavily in the mix for the potential new home if the ACC does indeed move. These are I just don't know why you would leave one of those two places. So I know it's scheduled to be in Greensboro next year. And then, to my knowledge, unless I just missed it, I don't think another future location has been announced other than Greensboro next year. And so I hope that is taken into consideration when they make those decisions.
Agreed. Jones Angell, voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, joining us in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It's always fun to catch up with you, Jones. And who knows what's gonna when the next time we can catch up with you is? But man, it's March Madness, and we're all here for it.
Absolutely, Tank. Great to be with you, and we'll figure it out. We'll talk again down the road.
Absolutely. Jones Angell, again, of the Tar Heel Network, and you will hear that tonight right here on ESPN Asheville. Pregame festivities start at 8:30. Tip-off set for 9:30 as the third-seeded North Carolina Tar Heels take on the sixth-seed Virginia Cavaliers. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Record cold headed to the Carolinas this weekend, and the chance for some snows coming into Asheville for Saturday. We're all the way down to 14 degrees Sunday morning, so don't pack away the winter gear quite yet. Next week looks much milder for us. 38 degrees our low tonight, partly cloudy and briefly mild on Friday, high 63. Then a cold front blast in Saturday with snows and wind, high 36, low 14 Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slowing 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the French Broad River. 26 on the eastbound side, stop and go between Brevard Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Construction causing these delays. Also construction delays 40 westbound in Haywood County between Vines Creek Road and Harmon Den Road. Heavy delays here. Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic is moving well. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, delays. Sweeten Creek Road moving problem-free. Checking the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road southbound. Drive time 15 minutes. I'm Lyndon Peel with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Tyson Furniture.
Tyson Furniture has a fantastic selection of quality furniture, honest values, and great service. We deliver weekly to Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
Jeremy and I have been on the weight loss journey here, and it continues with PhD Weight Loss. Our combined goal of weight loss on PhD is 200 pounds, a little over 200 pounds actually, and we're rocking it out. I am over 40 pounds down in 12 weeks. Jeremy,
I am under 260 pounds for the in my early 20s. I'm sleeping better, I feel better, and it's all because of the convenient, healthy food from PhD Weight Loss.
They make me feel great in my own skin for the first time in a long time. Body's changing, like my body structure is changing, and it's weird. Like I'm walking straighter and I'm walking a lot more because I don't have that 40 pounds weighing me down. It's going to help me get rid and just ditch that sedentary lifestyle that I've been living. Eating healthier with PhD Weight Loss is changing my life. You can let it do the same for you. Go to myphdweightloss.com. It's myphdweightloss.com.
Okay, so we got the chorizo dumplings, the cucumber empanadas.
Zara's food truck is popping off.
Come on, guys, let's pick it up, all right?
But if she doesn't find a new chef, her truck will be stuck.
Carl quit this morning, so Jessica, I'm going to need you on the fryer.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. And as we like to say here in the Sportsocracy, we are big fans of charity. We're big fans of helping out our local community, and that's exactly what the folks over at Thermo Fisher Scientific are trying to do. They're a part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Western North Carolina Bowl for the Future campaign. Local businesses get teams together, and they try to raise as much money as possible for the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Western North Carolina program, and our good friend Justin Parton on the Thermo Fisher Scientific team, and we decided, yeah, we'll help you out. So go, you can go right now and give to the campaign, Big Brothers Big Sisters. It's bbbs.wnc.org/2022 Bowl for Kids' Sake. And you can just click on the icon, and you can, on the Bowl for the Future little robot picture that they have on their website, and it'll take you right to the page where you can make a donation, or you can just follow the link in our YouTube stream. The link is in the description that goes directly to Justin Parton's page, and you can donate directly to him. We want Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Western North Carolina and everybody to know how generous our Sportsocracy family is when it comes to helping the local community. So support.
And all of our super chats, membership fees, anything like that we get for the rest of the week will be going into the Sportsocracy donation to this cause.
Yes, indeed they will. Want to reset the big breaking news of the day for you. Baseball is back, folks. We got a tentative deal agreed to between the Major League Baseball owners and the Major League Baseball Players Association, and the new collective bargaining agreement has been agreed to, ending the 99-day lockout. Still has to go through the ratification process through both sides, but it's the votes earlier today, the tentative votes earlier today, were overwhelmingly in favor of the new deal, which means we can have guys reporting. Well, it says Sunday is when spring training will open, and as of tonight, teams can start making free agent moves. They have bridged the gap in the competitive balance tax. They had a significant spread in where the owners wanted to be, where the players wanted to be, so they brought that down to an insignificant number now. Apparently, the average, the base pay, minimum pay, league minimum pay is going to go up to $700,000 for guys with under 3 years of service in Major League Baseball, so the players very happy about that. I think they wanted it at $775, so it will grow to $780 at some point over the course of this deal. The thing the players had agreed to was, yes, we will put 12 teams into the playoffs, each and every year. So the Major League Baseball playoffs have now expanded a 45-day window for Major League Baseball to change the rules, which is a process that usually takes a year for that to happen. So they want a pitch clock. You down with the pitch clock, Jeremy? Is that going to get you more interested?
Only if it's 4 seconds.
What if it? I think it's 14.
As soon as you catch the ball, throw it again.
It's 14 seconds with nobody on base, 19 seconds with runners on base. I think that's a fair agreement. You institute a pitch clock. They're going to make the bases bigger. I know there's a scientific reason why they wanted to do that, but I don't really care.
Well, I mean, because most of their fans are getting a little hard of sight, so it does help.
And the ban on shifts. So the ban on the shift can happen if Major League Baseball chooses, and they can institute that in a 45-day window rather than given a year for that to have to be negotiated.
Stupid.
The National League is adopting the designated hitter, so we have progress.
We finally have everybody in the sport playing by the same rules.
That's right.
Why did that take a billion years to figure out?
I don't know. I do not know. A draft lottery is now going to be implemented to avoid any tanking issues. So much like the NBA does, Major League Baseball is going to have a draft lottery now.
Oh, yeah, because that really prevents teams from doing that in the NBA.
True.
I mean, the Houston Rockets are not adamantly doing it, or Oklahoma City Thunder, they're not actively doing that right now.
Now think about this. The Los Angeles Lakers just lost to a team that's trying to lose.
They don't want to win.
They're going to be limiting the number of times that a player can be optioned to the minor leagues in one season, so no up and down, up and down, up and down for an entire year. And draft pick inducements to discourage service time manipulation. Do you even know what that means?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm just checking. You gave me that look like,
No, I gave you this look like,
oh,
I'm awake.
We got rule changes coming in Major League Baseball, and frankly, I'm all about it. Let's update the game. Let's speed it up a little bit. Let's get back on the field, which is something that's going to happen on Sunday.
I'm still stuck on the pitch clock.
Yep.
All right, so they're at 14 seconds. I was at 4. I'm willing to go as high as 7.
You don't count.
Throw it back. Do it again.
Yeah. Just fire it away. That's not even enough time to get a good signal, communication between the...
Fastball. Let's go.
Just fastballs. Just keep throwing fastballs.
Look, I'll be honest with you. You remember Nintendo as a child?
Oh, yeah.
All we had was A, B, up, down, left, right, R1, R2, L1, L2.
Yeah, we didn't even have those when I was growing up.
You know what?
We had A and B when I was growing up. That was it. I grew up in a generation where we didn't have X's and Y's on the Super Nintendos.
You figured it out.
Oh, yeah. You figured it out as you went along. And thankfully, the players and the owners have come to a tentative agreement. It looks like it is a foregone conclusion that this deal will be ratified today, and we will be seeing free agent moves happen tonight. So not only do we have that going on, but we also have all of the basketball to keep us company tonight in the sports world.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Jeremy, I've officially found my hero. This guy is now the hero of my life.
Yeah,
and
you told me the story earlier, and I'm not going to try to poo-poo your story, but it's not as wonderful as you think.
I think it's wonderful because I am a big fan of cruises. I'm a big fan of cruise ships. I like going and being able to, do all of the things, travel to different ports here, there, and yon. And a man named Mario Salcedo is apparently referred to by many of cruise ship crews as the king. He is the cruise ship king because for the last 20 years, Mario Salcedo has been living on cruise ships. He doesn't have a home. He just lives on cruise ships. And you wonder, well, I mean, that's got to cost him a lot of money, right? Well, he maintains that it is actually a pretty frugal way to live because he doesn't have rent to pay. He doesn't have a mortgage to pay. He just has to pay his freight on these cruise ships, and he doesn't have to do things like pay for gas because he lives on the water. He doesn't have a grocery bill because all the food's included. He is living his best life. He quit his job in 1997 after working in the financial sector, and then he got a job as the director of international finance at a multinational corporation that does a lot of business down in Latin America. So now he just lives on the cruises. And when they go to a port, he goes in, he goes off the boat, does his business, does a lot of his business from the boat itself, and for 20 years he's been living the dream. It's my new goal.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, first of all, and I'm going to use the way you said this, doing your business nowhere but on a cruise ship would get really tedious really fast. And maybe that's coming from a 6'5", 255-pound man, but those showers are not, okay.
They're not.
That is not a way to live your life.
They are not.
Second of all, as a man that lived out of a suitcase for quite some time, it's not as wonderful as that sounds. You want a place to just say, this is mine. Okay, I'm home. I can put my feet up and relax. You told me the story. You're like, oh, this sounds wonderful. And in my head, I'm thinking that falls somewhere between being trapped in an aviary and having to work as a clown for the rest of my life.
I would love to know how many times in 20 years he's got the norovirus. Because you see those like every year. You see some kind of a story about how viruses spread on cruise ships, which is why everything shut down in the cruise business. And yes, for the last 15 months, he has been living in a hotel. Or for the 15-month period while cruises were docked, he was living in a hotel. And he was all too happy to go back to his seafarer life. He's my new hero. Super Mario, they call him.
That sounds super terrible. The Volusia County Sheriff's Department in Florida needs your help. Someone did crimes, and they cannot identify who this person is.
Okay.
In spite of the fact they saw all of him. A man walked up to a house in Volusia County, Florida. It was on John Anderson Drive. And he went and stole their flag. They had a flag that was right in front of the house. And that wouldn't be that weird. Except he was completely nude. And when he stole the flag, he used it to cover his rocket's red glare.
Oh, no.
They have every piece of this person on camera. They can't figure out who it is. They also do not know why he stole this flag. So they posted out a tweet.
All right.
It said, newsflash. Don't know the backstory here, but we're looking to identify a naked man who stole an American flag from a home on John Anderson Drive in Ormond Beach last week. They then give an email and a phone number to call, and no one has called. Okay, first of all, I got at least 3 questions here. The first one, is there really a road in Florida called John Anderson Drive?
Sure.
I mean, he only had 2 songs. I mean, there's Seminole Wind and Straight Tequila Night. Other than that, I couldn't name you another song he ever did.
No
clue
what you're
Seminole Wind's
about.
a banger, don't get me wrong. Really?
Yeah, no
Don't
clue.
ask her on a Straight Tequila Night. She'll start thinking about him, then she's ready to fight.
No. I don't know that
Blends her
song.
broken heart on every man in sight.
I'm gonna have to go listen to it now. Sounds like a country song.
Seminole Wind. I used to think that was about Florida State when I was 5.
Oh, of course you
I loved
did.
that song. Somewhere there's a video of me singing that song. That if any of my family members ever release, we're gonna have a problem.
Yep.
If you would like to help in any shape, form, or fashion, you can call the Volusia County Sheriff's Department. How does a naked man walking around not strike any bit of attention? Just because it's Florida?
I'm sure it does catch attention. It's just we don't know this guy. He's you know.
Hey, Dale, why are you naked? Stop being naked.
He just likes to roam.
I got a flag. Is that good enough for you?
Just wrapped in the stars and bars.
The Ring doorbell camera of this is really funny.
Oh, I'm sure
He just walks up and just doot, bloop, and we're good.
Oh, sorry. I caught my eye on the ACC tournament. Boston College, the 13 seed, they're trying to do it again. So they knocked off Wake Forest last night, and then right now they just about hit a half-court shot to beat Miami. Unfortunately, it did not go, and now it is tied 65-all going into overtime up in Brooklyn. Number 4 Miami on the ropes against Boston College. What's gotten into them?
Justin Parton asked in the comments, didn't John Anderson do swinging? Yes, he did, as did this unidentified man in Florida.
Nice.
That's the only reason I even brought it up.
No, the only John Anderson I know is the one that used to do our commercials here.
Also, great voice on that John Anderson as well.
Absolutely. Anyway, just get you caught up on the other conference basketball action right now. Number 2, Arizona continues to trail Stanford with 10 minutes to go in the ball game. It is a 1-point game, 59-58, Cardinal on top. That seems very interesting.
Stanford's had a couple upsets this year.
They have. They hit one at the buzzer, last night, didn't they? Mm-hmm. To advance to this round.
No. They also beat USC savagely in the regular season.
It is over. Iowa, we had it all the way, as Mike Gore likes to say on the UNC Asheville broadcast, 112-76. They took down Northwestern in the quarterfinal or the second round of the Big Ten tournament. So the Hawkeyes looking pretty good.
You remember when we thought Chris Collins was going to be the next head coach at Duke?
Yep.
That was fun.
Providence survived today against Butler in the Big East quarterfinal. TCU upset number 22 Texas 65-60. Indiana has sent Michigan home packing from the Big Ten tournament 74-69. Huge for Indiana. I think they're still on the periphery. If they can pull a couple of wins, a couple more wins in this Big Ten tournament.
They were the first team out.
Yeah.
I would say that probably puts them in pending bid stealers or anything like that.
Right. So Michigan, their hopes for making the tournament maybe dashed
that
with
certainly
the loss
hurt
to Indiana. So there it is. That's what we got going on. Unfortunately, East Carolina couldn't pull it out against Cincinnati. Wes Miller and the Bearcats moving on to the next round of the AAC tournament, 74-63. We've got things going on in the NFL as well. And yesterday, obviously, we had the breaking news of Carson Wentz being traded from the Indianapolis Colts to the Washington Commanders. It's still funny to me because they got absolutely fleeced in that deal. I wouldn't have been as upset about it with the draft picks until I found out that they were going to pick up all the money. They're picking up the $28 million on Carson Wentz, and that shifted things a little bit for them as they only had $33 million in money to spend, so they had to find savings somewhere. So they went to one of their highest paid players, a guy who's already taken a pay cut once for them, and Landon Collins told them to pound sand. I'm not taking a second pay cut.
As well, he shouldn't.
I'm half the way through a 6-year, $84 million deal, and you want me to take another pay cut? I don't think so. So what happened? They cut him.
This is what happens when you make ridiculous deals like that. Just how it works.
Yeah. They have cut loose Landon Collins, and now Landon Collins becomes where does he rank on safeties in free agency now?
He's certainly an attractive option.
I mean, he's got to be the best strong safety out there. I mean, Kareem Jackson and
Kareem Jackson's not good at football.
Quandre Diggs.
I would probably have Quandre Diggs slightly ahead of him, but not by much.
This is just off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of safeties that are available in free agency. My guy Daniel Sorensen from
Daniel Sorensen does not qualify.
He's not qualified as one of the best strong safeties. But I mean, this is what happens if you're going to spend all this money on a quarterback. Then you're going to have to cut elsewhere. What are you going to lose because you made that deal? Well, now Landon Collins is gone.
I would have Landon Collins somewhere in the 5-ish range. He would be behind Marcus Williams, behind Quandre Diggs, behind Marcus May, Jordan Whitehead, Tyrann Mathieu. So he'd be about 7.
Okay.
He'll get a decent deal somewhere else. He's scheme specific. But, I mean, this is what happens if you're Washington. Oh, we made a ridiculous deal to go get Carson Wentz. Yay. I've yet to hear one positive word about that.
I have yet to hear one Washington Commanders fan be excited. Is that really what you wanted?
No.
And now it's I don't know. It's a baffling move to me. With all the money that you're going to pay him, and the more and more after you said it yesterday, the more and more I've thought about it. Are they really any better off now? And if they had just said no and stayed put with Taylor Heineke,
I think they would have been better with 3 quarterbacks in this draft. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo, and a couple other options. When I saw that there was a move coming, I thought surely it'll be for a 5. All right, they give up a 5, and Indy picks up a lot of the money. Then I saw the compensation went, is Indy picking up all of the money? Because that's the only way that makes any sense. And when I saw none of it, that's the worst trade I've ever seen.
When you swing, when you take a swing, there's going to be a chance that you miss the ball, that you strike out. And I feel like that's what Washington did here.
100% they did. I mean, this was a panic move because they know they cannot be involved in the Deshaun Watson thing. You just can't.
No, that's a PR nightmare.
100%. With all of the things that have gone in that, you're out there.
Yeah, no chance.
I just don't really understand how you got to this point. I don't understand how you look at Kenny Pickett, who, I have issues with him playing in the weather that you would have in Washington, in Philadelphia, and with the Giants. I do understand why you maybe didn't want to do that. What I don't understand is why did you not want to do it with Sam Howell or Malik Willis? Because now you're tied to a quarterback that I know exactly what he is. I know exactly what he is. We're a presidential term away from the last time he was a high-end starting quarterback in the NFL. And the team that he was on that particular year won the Super Bowl with his backup. That's one of the most damning things you'll ever hear about Carson Wentz. Now we got that out of the way. I got to get something else out of the way.
Okay.
Because I've been hearing this all day. And I can't really wrap my head around it. We're Carolina Panthers affiliates. This is Carolina Panthers ESPN station. Can we stop with Deshaun Watson to the Carolina Panthers? Can we stop with that, please? You do realize that would leave you paying $50 million for your quarterback between Sam Darnold and Deshaun Watson. What exactly do you think you're going to put around him? I'm going to say the same thing about him that I said about the Denver Broncos, and this ties into a super chat from Tyler Cunningham.
I'm your huckleberry.
This going to Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Western North Carolina. Broncos fans have gone insane. Had one argue with me for 2 hours. They were better than the Bills. And that's insane.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm going to say the same thing about Carolina with Deshaun Watson that I would say about that I said about the Broncos with Russell Wilson. Is this really any different of a situation than he had in Houston? Really be honest with yourself. All right, so you trade for Deshaun Watson. You give up what limited draft capital you have.
Right.
Because you got 6. To get him out of Houston would cost you your 1 next year and your 1 the year after that.
No, you're basically. I mean, I feel like the defense is better.
More.
I feel like the defense in Carolina is better
than it was in Houston 3 years ago.
But no.
There you go.
Not at all. I think it has the potential to turn into that, but that's only if you invest in it.
Is the line better?
Absolutely not.
Are your weapons better?
No.
It's close.
I mean, one had D-Hop, and I don't think Carolina has one of those.
No, they have a Christian McCaffrey. It's just a different position, but still a weapon.
Right.
They were winning 4 games with him. What is the purpose of that?
Right. Just to say you've got a superstar quarterback.
And let's just say that he said, yeah, let's go to Carolina. That'll be fun, which we have absolutely no evidence that he would. I think he would accept a trade anywhere at this point. Why? Why would you do that? To bring in a quarterback that has absolutely nothing around him for the next 4 years.
Right.
Is it just to say you have a quarterback? I mean, is this Cam Newton thing all over again?
Yes.
You just want to say we have a named quarterback.
Yes, we want to be able to show you the shiny little object over here. Don't worry about don't worry about the actual product.
And I'm not saying he's not an improvement. He's clearly an improvement over Sam Darnold.
Of course he would be.
But the roster is now stagnant.
Yeah. They would suffer.
Yeah, well, the roster will regress every single year he's on the team. I also do have to say that the Pittsburgh Steelers are not trading for Deshaun Watson. I cannot believe I'm having to say this out loud, but there are so many people that believe this that it has to be said.
I think it's Seattle. I think Seattle will be the one.
I don't. Because I don't know why you would do it. Well, what's the purpose? Because I'll be honest with you, there's a team in the NFL that has a sitting offer to DK Metcalf, and they're thinking about it.
Seattle is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw a report earlier today that the reports about Tyler Lockett being on the market were erroneous. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, they also said the reports about Russell Wilson being on the market were
erroneous.
Sure,
and I understand that. Seattle right now is trying to tell everybody we're not going to do this, fire sale deal.
And the thing I don't understand about that, because from what I've been told, Seattle does have an offer for Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
It's conditional. I don't think it will be enough to actually get him out of Houston. I just don't get it. What is really the difference there? Do you honestly think Deshaun Watson's that much better than Russell Wilson? I would say yes. He's better, but he ain't that much better.
He's better.
You're still the fourth best team in that division, fact or fiction.
Let me say this. He's more experienced. I don't know about better. I don't know that he's better physically than Deshaun
Russell?
Watson.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. Deshaun Watson's better than Russell Wilson.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's a better player.
I thought you were saying that the other way around.
He also comes with a tremendous amount of baggage. I mean, a tremendous amount of baggage.
Well, Jeremy, if you had Boston College plus the points today against 4-seed Miami, I'm pretty sure you just made some money. We've got Miami just won in overtime, 71-69 at the buzzer. Boston College forgot. They forgot the one rule. When it's a transition going the other way, you got to play defense. They left the guy wide open with 2 seconds to go. We got breaking news.
Who's going to break the news? Who's going to break the news? Who's going to break the news? Who's going to break the news?
Well, we said there would be a big old biggin today.
Is it?
From Adam Schefter.
Oh, no.
The Chicago Bears are attempting to finalize a trade now that will send Khalil Mack to the L.A. Chargers.
Do what?
You'll have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack on the same defense.
That is frightening.
Yeah. That's a thing.
What are they going to get back?
No report yet.
Oh, we will
The
definitely.
trade is close.
Yeah.
Should be done by the end of the day.
Okay. We'll definitely keep you up to date on that.
That is huge.
In the meantime, you got 5 on it?
I love off-season time in the NFL. I've already given you 2 of these, so we'll get those out of the way first. Then I'll give you the third one first. I got 50 on it, over 234 between the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers. These two teams play fast. They're angry at each other, and there's a lot of revenge narrative here. This game will stay close enough, and it's going to be incredibly high scoring. I won't be shocked if the first one to 125 wins. Neither one of them's great defensively. This one's easy to me. I got 50 on it, over 234, Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia 76ers. I also have 50 on it. The Sixers are going to win this game, and I think the final score is going to be rather convincing. I don't buy this Nets team at all. I think they can stay close. They can shoot out with you. Here's the problem. Do you really think Andre Drummond's going to stop Joel Embiid? Because I don't. Do you really think anybody on this team can defend James Harden? Because I don't. This one's easy. I got 50 on it. 76ers -4 over the Nets. Finally, in a game that starts in just a couple hours, I got 25 on it. South Carolina's a 4.5-point dog against Mississippi State. I'm going to be real honest. The bottom of the SEC is dog water. All of it. Missouri, who was, the last I looked, was down 30-9 to LSU.
Right.
No team playing any other team in this range of the SEC should be a almost 5-point dog. I don't just think South Carolina covers this. I'd take them in the money line. I got 25 on it. South Carolina +4.5 against Mississippi State.
Hey, you can take all those wagers to betus.com. BetUS.com, promo code Sportsocracy. Get 125% of your deposit up to $2,500. So every time you put, if you put in $100, they'll give you $125 in free play tokens that you can use on whatever you want to. Any of the games that Jeremy just gave you, or, if, like I said, if you had put some down on Boston College, plus the points against Miami, Eagles come up short, but what a run they made in the ACC tournament. We are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll be right back.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the French Broad River. 26 on the eastbound side, light delays between the French Broad River and Bavard Road due to construction. Construction delays in Haywood County as well. 40 westbound is stop and go between Vines Creek Road and Harmon Den Road. On the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume busy and steady, especially on the westbound side. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, some light delays. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell's semi-annual sale delivers unmatched productivity and play. Right now, save what Dell employees save with 17% off XPS and select Alienware computers powered by Intel Core processors. Visit Dell.com/semi-annual sale or call 800-BY-DELL. That's 800-BY-DELL.
Hi, I'm Debbie Childress, Director of the Grayson County Alliance, a food pantry in rural Kentucky. Thanks to a local farmer, we recently received a $2,500 donation from America's Farmers Grow Communities, sponsored by the Monsanto Fund, a philanthropic arm of Bayer. As a result, we expanded a classroom where we teach families about nutrition and personal finance. I encourage all farmers to enroll for a chance to direct a $2,500 donation to a local nonprofit. Visit growcommunities.com.
You can save up to $500 at Mattress Warehouse. Get free next-day delivery on all orders over $7.99. And take 20% off pillows, sheets, and protectors. Visit sleephappens.com to get your best night's sleep.
Hey folks, DG here asking you to give yourself the gift of Asheville smiles here in 2022. Studies have linked untreated gum disease to heart disease, erectile dysfunction, systemic diseases, premature birth, joint issues, and much more. Everything is connected. And seeing a dentist every 6 months is important for your overall health. For top-notch dental care from Dr. Rebecca Merrill here in Asheville, call 828-251-2426 or AshevilleSmiles.com.
Last year, Lowe's completed 100 impact projects in communities across the United States as part of 100 Hometowns. Lowe's is making its largest ever commitment to give back to the communities it serves. Over the next 5 years, Lowe's will invest $100 million in community impact projects for those in need. Nominate your hometown project in need by March 28th. Visit Lowe's.com/hometowns to learn more or follow us at #Lowe'sHometowns.
Asheville, Monsters of Rock and Roll Rapture. March 18th and 19th, Monster TNT explodes into the Egg Center. Metallic Monsters and Raw Horsepower. Tickets now at MonsterTNT.com or buy at Allen's Jewelry and Pawn for free pit passes.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive contains B-complex vitamins and alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort. Learn more at nervivehealth.com.
Macy's one-day sale has great deals of the day, like 60% off cookware from Martha Stewart Collection, Sedona, and more. Pick out some new sparkle with 60% off select Effie Fine jewelry. Then add designer suits to his rotation, now 50 to 60% off. Plus, Star Rewards members earn rewards even faster during Macy's Star Money bonus days, starting tomorrow. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
The underdog. The long shot. The nobody from nowhere, never gonna happen 100 to 1 shot. We know something about that. We're with you every step of the way.
This week at Ingles, select 6 to 12 count Laurel and Cuddly soft bath tissue, $3.98 each. Select sizes and varieties Kellogg's Frosted Flakes or Fruit Loop cereal, 2 for $4. And select sizes and varieties Tide laundry detergent, $12.98 each. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
All right, last minute of the program here on a Thursday afternoon, and the details are still coming in about the Khalil Mack deal. Chicago Bears sending Khalil Mack to the Los Angeles Chargers for what?
They're still working on a contract with the Chargers, but as of right now from Ian Rappaport, the details are this. A 2023 second and 6th round pick goes to the Bears for Khalil Mack.
So they're both next year?
They're both next year.
Oh, my gosh.
The Chicago Bears just tapped on I'm dumbfounded by this.
They have to be picking up the money. That's the only thing I can think of.
Who cares?
The Bears
You
do.
needed a pick. pick now. You need somebody to help Justin Fields now.
2023
You need somebody to help Justin Fields now. 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 You need somebody to help Oh, that's bad. That's bad.
Hey, maybe they're going to hit it in free agency if they can get rid of that money. That's the only thing I can think of. Because with that would give them about $50 million to play with in free agency. So I think that could potentially work. We will be back with you tomorrow at 3 right here on ESPN Asheville. Again, no happy hour today on the YouTube stream. Happy hours will return with new bells and whistles coming up Monday.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Record cold headed to the Carolinas this weekend, and the chance for some snows coming into Asheville for Saturday. We're all the way down to 14 degrees Sunday morning, so don't pack away the winter gear quite yet. Next week looks much milder for us. 38 degrees our low tonight, partly cloudy and briefly mild on Friday, high 63. Then a cold front blast in Saturday with snows and wind, high 36, low 14 Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors.
Ray Magliozzi here. The tear in my driver's seat does have sentimental value since my butt's molded to fit it. But I'm ready for a new one from eBay Motors with all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. Till then, I'll just scooch. eBay Motors, let's ride.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow, 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the French Broad River. 26 on the eastbound side, light delays between the French Broad River and Bavard Road due to construction. Construction delays in Haywood County as well. 40 westbound is stop and go between Vines Creek Road and Harmon Den Road. On the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume busy and steady, especially on the westbound side. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, some light delays. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Kelley Blue Book. Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer is an official offer to buy your car. Enter your vehicle ID info, answer some questions, then get a no-obligation offer to sell or trade it. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car. Schedule a time and drive away with confidence. For all of the its, kbb.com it.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.